Reality is a game, and most people are playing it the hard way. In these 4 steps, I'm going to show you exactly why effort alone will keep you failing and how alignment, along with this method, will show you how to win in life. When you understand these rules, you stop feeling like life is pushing back at you, and you start to feel that everything conspires effortlessly in alignment with exactly what you want to create, achieve, and have. Now let's get straight into it. The game of life is the game of frequency. What you will see here is the conductor's hand conducting an orchestra. He has the conducting baton. The conducting baton is the first part of our 4-step process. I'm using a very simple analogy today, so it comes across effortless and with ease. We don't need to complicate it, so let's get straight into it. Now, the conductor, as you know, he is conducting an orchestra, a symphony, so it achieves the highest possible eloquence and expression of that music. So everyone, all the instruments are playing in harmony, and the audience is receiving the beauty of that music, the beauty of that creation in its most highest mastered form. Where most people go wrong is they don't actually understand that they are continuously conducting their life based on this simple process. And I'm going to show you how to do this consciously so you are no longer going through it in the most unconscious and hardest manner possible, so you win. So the conductor, step one is that you are using a baton. The baton relates to your thoughts. Your thoughts are rapidly occurring. There are tens of thousands of thoughts that happen at any time throughout the day for each and every one of us. Where you win at the game of life is that you learn to actually manipulate the thoughts in a manner that will align to your desired reality. Now, most people are unconsciously unaware. They are continuously focusing their attention, which is a high value commodity, very high value. They're focusing their attention on negativity, what they don't like about their life, what's wrong, all of the problems that they don't want to be experiencing. In fact, the human mind is wired for you to actually focus on what's wrong because it is a point of survival. So it is naturally scanning the environment to understand what's not safe, what's not right, what's not happening, what's not at ease, deliberately, so you survive. However, the issue with that is you start to get stuck in a loop. And when you get stuck in the loop of continuously focusing on what isn't working for you, what's difficult, what's hard, what's negative, what's negatively happening out there in the world, it starts to become a loop in your subconscious mind, and it starts to become a big part of your personality. Now, your attention, the conducting of this symphony that I'm relating to, this symphony, this game of life, is causing the issue because most people, you see, they're focusing on the effects that they see. They are focusing on their current income, what they see in their bank accounts. They are focusing on what they're seeing in the reality now. That's what they're focusing on. They're focusing on what they don't like now. They're focusing on the lack, the scarcity, the lack of evidence of their desired reality. And so a feedback system occurs where it keeps giving you feedback that you are not in your desired state, you're not in your desired reality. So what happens is The conductor's baton keeps focusing the attention on the effects. And what the issue here is your whole entire reality is occurring from your internal state, which is the cause. Now, you would have heard or may have heard about cause and effect. This is a law, a universal law, a principle of the universe. This is a rule in life. And if you are continuously only focusing on the effects of your reality, you become a slave to reality itself. You are not in control. You are not leading your reality. You are not in the process of winning at the game of life. What you are doing is you are succumbing to becoming a slave to all of the external effects, everything that is happening outside of you, around you, in your environment, through other people, through the workplace, through your industry, whatever it be. All of these little inclinations of standards that you are experiencing are sending signals to your mind saying this is your reality. You feel trapped in it. You feel that you can't get out of it. You feel that you hit this invisible ceiling that you cannot surpass. However, the truth is none of your reality is actually occurring because of the effects you see. Your reality is absolutely, unequivocally occurring because of the cause that is within you. The internal reality, not the external. Most people are losing at the game of life because they are focusing on the external reality rather than putting all their focus and energy, the conductor's baton, to steering their internal reality. Here's where we change that. What you need to know is the next 2, 3, 4 steps are vital to this whole process. Most of the manifestation industry, most of the reality creation industry is leaving a massively important part out. They keep telling you that it is your thoughts, that you must focus your thoughts, and it's predominantly your thoughts. I'm here to tell you that the conductor baton, the thoughts, are only the spark of the manifestation process. They are only the initiation of creation itself. They are only the masculine principle of creation. It is only the masculine intelligence of creation. There is also the feminine intelligence of creation, and one does not exist without the other. They are whole and complete together. There is not a dominance of one or the other. They are equally important. Now, we have been in a society that is very masculine led and very thought form led to believe that everything is about your thoughts. And that is why people are almost trapped in this entirety of thought processes, negative thought process, things not being enough, all of these thought processes that are dominating them, and hence unconsciously not realizing that is absolutely, unequivocally impacting their state, their emotional well-being, and hence their manifestation process, their actions, the decisions they make, the choices they make. Everything is connected. I'm going to show you how we focus on changing the cause so you no longer are a slave to the effects of your reality, and how you become the leader, the captain, the conductor of your own reality, and hence create the reality that you desire. So let's get on to step 2. Step 2, we're moving into conscious territory here because I am going to show you how it's done. Step 2 is we are no longer just focusing on the conductor, which is our thoughts. We are now going to focus on the actual tuning. So you know a tuning fork. If you haven't seen one before, I am creating one for you here. We use a tuning fork in music to make sure that the instruments are actually fine-tuned to the notes that they need to be playing. So think of it in hertz. The frequency is measured in hertz, and music is a frequency. The instrument, let's use a guitar for this example. Now, you know, people fine tune a guitar to make sure it's playing the right keys. Now, if you want to be playing the right keys of your life, you need to make sure your instrument is actually tuned to the right keys, so the music is beautiful and pleasant and abundant and full of prosperity. Think of it in terms of your manifestation of the reality that you want to create. You want the instrument to be fine-tuned to the right notes. Imagine conducting a symphony. If the conductor didn't make sure, and if everybody who was playing those instruments, responsible for their own instruments, isn't fine-tuning and tuning the instruments, so it is then able to play the correct frequency, so then the sound is in harmony. All of the aspects are in harmony. Why am I referring to this? Because your life is a symphony and every instrument is a category of your life. The drums could be your relationships. Let's say it's your fitness. The flute may be your relationships. The cellos may be your success, fruition, what comes to success, your industry, your job, your work, your creation, your business. Saxophone may be another aspect of your life, your friendships. Think of it this way. Everything that you desire, a future home, a future car, something that you really want, a beautiful, loving, fulfilling relationship, great friendships, amazing experiences, traveling around the world, whatever it is for you, think about all the things that your heart truly desires. All of these are instruments in this orchestra. Your thoughts are the conductor. Now, everything needs to be tuned. The way we tune things is to make sure that our internal state is actually aligned to these instruments, to the notes that we want. The notes that we want lead to the music that creates our desired reality. So it is not just about the instrument. If the instrument is your desired reality, if the guitar is a new home, for example, and you cannot attune yourself, your frequency, your ability to create this and attract it, but also to take the aligned actions in alignment that actually lead to creating this in your reality. The instrument needs to be fine-tuned first, and that is step 2. So consciously, we are fine-tuning. Most people are so unconscious in this area. In fact, they may be potentially aware of their thoughts and practicing affirmations, for example. They practice affirmations. They practice all sorts of meditation practices, or they attempt to. They practice all sorts of processes. They read books. You could have read hundreds of books and still not have your desired reality. They are in the process of potentially watching countless videos on manifestation, reality creation, on esoteric studies, on the laws of the universe, on whatever it be for you. Ultimately, what's happening is if your tuning are not in alignment, it is all done in vanity. It is just the type of energy that does not lead to your desired reality. In fact, what it does is do the opposite. It leads to greater doubt. It leads to frustration. It leads to anger, bitterness, jealousy. You name it. I could list an entire series of emotions here. You know these emotions. You've felt them before. The key to this is to understand that you cannot get the outcome and win at the game of life if your tuning isn't attuned to your desired reality. There are rules for this. Most people, as I mentioned, they are focusing on the effect instead of focusing on the cause. The cause is the key to winning at the game of life. The cause is the key to what you attract in life. You are already you are already the cause within. It is your internal reality. The effect is the outcome. So step 3 is we understand that our tuning fork needs to be attuned to the frequency that we desire, which is our desired reality. In order for the instruments to be playing that symphony, creating the harmony that is our desired reality, here's how we're going to look at the next overview, step 3 next. Most people are not understanding, and they are unconsciously creating the desired reality, and they're doing it the hard way, the struggle, the scarcity, continuously attracting the same things. They've tried the manifestation techniques. They've tried the strategy in their businesses, in their life. They've tried going to the gym, but they still go back to, eventually they'll go back to the original weight that they've been trying to get away from, because they're focusing on the effect. They're going to the gym, but they're not changing who they are internally, which is the cause. Step 3 is the emotional state, which I refer to. Think of it as the instrument itself. Now, the instrument's been attuned, it's been tuned, and now it's about playing the music. And most people are playing music in complete disharmony to their desired reality. Your emotions are the notes that come out of those instruments, of those specific instruments in the orchestra, that is the different shades of your life. So, if you're successful in your career, you're successful in your status, you're successful in 1 or 2 or 3 aspects of your life, but you're not successful and you're not attracting the areas of your life, other areas such as relationships, such as friendships, such as your health, such as ease and effortlessness, such as time management, whatever it is for you. There could be specific areas in your life that are in disharmony. And to be real, that happens to many of my clients before they come to me. They may have all sorts of successes in certain areas of their life and be in complete disharmony and complete non-success and failures in other areas of their life. Those parts of the orchestra, that part of the symphony, is going to drag and hold back the potential of all of the other areas that you're succeeding in. Now, you may believe that you're doing really well, you're succeeding, say, in finances, if that's an area you're succeeding in, but you're terrible in other areas of your life. Ultimately, you are never going to reach your absolute, full, unhinged, unequivocal potential if there are other aspects of your life. They pull you down. It is all part of the same thing. It is not separate. It is a part of who you are. In order to understand the state, we have to understand that if your business is the drums, and the drums are in harmony, and the drums are playing absolutely perfectly to what the conductor is conducting with his baton, conducting baton. He is conducting and the drums are in sync. Perfect, the drums are in sync. The music sounds okay. As soon as the guitar comes in, which is not attuned and not in tune, the notes sound off. The frequency is off. The frequency is not aligned to the desired symphony. Think of it this way. You can write your goals. You can write your affirmations. You can have these chants and cantations of what it is to be you and feel powerful when it comes to specific areas of your life. But there are some aspects of that symphony, of that orchestra, of those instruments that you are ignoring. And hence what happens is the music, you've written it out, you've got your goals, you've got your wishes, you're doing your affirmations, or you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. The tools that you're using, ultimately, it doesn't matter what tools you use, but the tools you're using are not working, because ultimately you are not in alignment with the laws of creation. You are not in alignment with what has been given to us as laws secret laws which are being brought to your attention to actually win at the game of life, to be in control of your frequency in the aspect of where you place your attention, the baton, and how you tune yourself, and hence how the notes come out from your emotional state, the music that you play. We need to make sure with step 3 that the instruments are in harmony in all aspects. And it doesn't mean that it needs to be difficult, but I'm being very, very real with you. There are people who come to me and talk to me about certain successes they've had, but yet they're allowing the difficulty, the heaviness, the emotions that are more negative and other aspects of their reality creation to impact their successes in other aspects of their life, and they are completely oblivious to it. It is when I work with them very, very easy for me to identify the patterns, the subconscious patterns that are creating these repeated behaviors. And what we do is those patterns, look at them as they are the notes, the sequence of notes that are looping and playing over and over and over again. However, it's not in harmony with their desired reality. And that's why they're losing at life. Then we get to step 4. So the key is with step 3, to do this consciously, you cannot simply just focus on your thoughts. You cannot. I spoke about the thought forms before, that this is the masculine spark to creation itself. Creation does not work just with masculine inception, the masculine seed, the masculine thought of creation. This is exactly like when a human being is created through man and woman into the womb of creation. The seed and the egg come together and it is formed in the feminine womb. This is the same thing. The thought form is the masculine inception, but the feminine egg, the ovum, and in her womb cannot create life and bring it to full form over a 9-month gestation if the seed hasn't been presented. The masculine intelligence is the inception of creation. It leads the direction, it gives the blueprint. The feminine intelligence is the formation, is the architecture, is the creation of your reality itself. Most of people, 97% of people, are completely unconscious to this. And if you are thinking that it is just masculine creation that is creating all of life, and when you hear words such as it's a man's world and it would be nothing without a woman, let me make it clear. Nature itself, formation from thought to form, is feminine intelligence. Masculine inception is the seed. It's the blueprint that is printed, like the Y chromosome. The feminine intelligence is the formation. It takes the chromosome, it takes the seed, and it creates the form into reality. So the masculine intelligence is equally as valuable as the feminine intelligence, which is the creation of form itself. Hence why we refer to nature as Mother Nature, because the thought form creation from the Creator, the All, when the Creator said, "Let there be light," that was the masculine thought form, that was the masculine intelligence. It was the direction, it was the conductor's baton, the Creator itself, saying that, "Let there be light." The nature itself, the universe, the earth, everything was created through feminine intelligence. The form was what created, brought the light into existence. This is a partnership. This is an equality. They do not exist without each other. The feminine intelligence of creation itself, it cannot form unless it has the masculine inception, the blueprint. Your thoughts are the masculinity of creation itself. It is not masculine in the sense of gender. These are the rules of reality creation. The masculine incepts and creates. The conductor's baton is the masculine inception, the leadership, the direction, what you focus on, the thoughts. The feminine intelligence is the formation, is the blueprint coming into form. Most people are absolutely oblivious to this because we haven't been taught this. No one has been shown this. I am sharing this extremely valuable truth with you today. So step 3, we do it consciously. When we attune ourselves, we make sure that the instruments are played in harmony. The fourth form, the masculine intelligence, is conducting. The feminine intelligence is the creating. It's the sound of the music itself. It's the playing of the instruments, creating the harmony together. Your mind is what creates the harmony, creates the tempo, creates the flow. It is the one that decides and chooses. The feminine intelligence within you is what actually is the sound, is the feeling, is the essence of what those notes create and how it makes you feel. Your reality creation is absolutely affected not only by your thoughts, but your emotions. Your emotions are signaling to the universe, signaling at every given time. And I am speaking of the dominant emotions that you feel. They are being created by the dominant thoughts that you are thinking, and that is what is leading to your reality. The majority of the planet hasn't been taught this, and you are very fortunate to be here today and hearing this knowledge. This is the framework that I use with 6 to 9 figure entrepreneurs, with elite performers, with high achievers, with executives, CEOs, with people who are business owners who are out to create big impact, big results, amazing, limitless abundance and prosperity in life. The ones who are surpassing the invisible ceilings that they had. No matter what work they've done, they just couldn't surpass it. And this is the work that we do, totally bespoke and customized to their own patterns, to their own reality creation. The fourth step is now the effect, because the inception of your thoughts, the direction of the conductor's baton, which, as I mentioned, is the masculine intelligence, the leadership, the inception of thought, is where we start the process. This is the cause. Most people are focusing on the effect. They're focusing on seeing the outcome. However, what most people are not translating and transmuting and understanding with certainty, conviction, and clarity is that the effect is always the outcome of delayed manifestation, delayed thoughts, delayed feelings, and delayed actions. It is the outcome of delayed cause. Your effect right now in your reality are the outcomes of your delayed cause. Who you were yesterday, a month ago, a year ago, who you were 30 days ago, it doesn't matter. Everything is a delayed outcome. Reality is always a delayed result of where you used to be, who you were when you were doing what you were doing, how you were feeling when you were doing what you were doing in the past. Even though in manifestation, reality, really, time, past, future doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is now. So what I'm going to share with you is step 4 is now, instead of focusing on the previous cause that led to the effect you have today, you've understood that your conducting baton is the thoughts. You're going to adjust them and focus them on what your desired reality is, but in the now. You are then going to make sure your tuning fork which is your nervous system, because your nervous system lets you know how you are truly feeling if you are able to hold more money. Think of this right now. Think of a dollar amount that is well beyond where you are now. How does your body feel when you say that amount? Do you contract? Do you feel nervous? When I say $100 million, how does it feel in your body right now? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel excited? Do you feel expansive? Or do you feel this tingling tension and fear creep over you? There is a reason why you would feel that. If you are feeling a negative release or negative effect in your nervous system, it means that your nervous system is associating negative beliefs with more money. And we can talk about that in future episodes, but basically, your ideals around wealth creation are absolutely ruled by your subconscious mind. That is determined by environmental belief, upbringing, experiences you've had in relation to financial generation, income generation, to people who have had impact on you in relationships of money, to workplaces, to learning from a world that keeps telling you that you have to work hard to be successful, that you have to work hard to have more money. What happens to your nervous system? It's trying to protect you. So it will go back to memory of times when you did work hard or when you were earning more money, but you were stretched out thin, that you were overwhelmed and overloaded. So you had to work super hard for more money, but it impacted other aspects of your life, your relationships, your health, your well-being, your freedom, your time management. So what happens is the nervous system gives you a signal, no, we're not ready for that yet. So then what happens? That's the tuning fork. The tuning fork that tells creation, the creator, the universe, God, source, itself, that you're not ready for it, that you can press down. We can't handle this. We can't hold this. And that creates an invisible ceiling. It doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful you are, everybody has this. Until you understand how to work with the laws of creation and how to absolutely be in alignment with masculine intelligence, feminine intelligence of creation, can you absolutely shift how that tuning fork works for things to come with greater ease and effortlessness and more flow, rather than it feeling like you have to continuously hustle. Hustle culture has a limitation of what you can achieve. There is more you can have in life effortlessly through attraction in combination with the work that you do, for things to align up for you, the people, the places, the timing, the opportunities, the approvals going through with things that you're applying for, the speaking opportunity, the covers of magazines, whatever it is that you're seeking to evolve in your industry. There are opportunities that will simply line up for you. These may be referred to as synchronicities. These may be referred to God's hand making things happen for you. Ultimately, it all starts to line up for you. Therefore, we no longer focus on the effect of what has happened in the past. We instead focus on the cause. And what we do in step 4 is we recreate the whole sequence that I showed you. Most people are recreating in a struggle formation, and hence why they're not winning in the game of life. You can be winning in your industry, you can be winning in your income generation, or you could be winning in fitness, or you could be winning in relationships, in your attractiveness, whatever it is for you. But there are areas of your life that you're not winning, and hence why your reality is not aligning for you in the most effortless, easiest, simplest, most effective way possible. I know this because I work with clients who are able to have the shift that creates everything that their heart could desire with effortlessness, instead of having this resistance and continuously pushing, because that is not how reality creation works. Do you see Mother Nature struggling? Do you see the Creator struggling? Do you see the planets, the stars, the streams, the birds, the animals of nature? Do you see things struggling to bring out their form to creation? Absolutely no. It's effortless. Every living entity, every living being has a blueprint. It already knows the direction it's going to go. There is no resistance. It will always find the path of least resistance. The universe is always giving its energy into the path of least resistance. That means if your thoughts, as the conductor's baton is showing us, are focused on the negative, on low income, struggles, loss of money, difficult relationships, narcissistic relationships, low self-worth, not having this, not living where you want. There's a whole series there. You can name a few in the comments if you want to. Whatever it is, ultimately the universe will always give to the path of least resistance. There is no other way. This is the law. This is the law of creation. No one is greater than the law. No animal, no living creature, no creation of reality. No one is greater than gravity. Doesn't matter who you are or what you are, animal, human, object, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everything is succumbing to the laws of gravity. There are laws of creation. Everything in existence is at the mercy, is at the will, the deliverance of the laws of creation. And hence why it is absolutely imperative that you become familiar with it, that you truly understand it, and you apply it to your life in the simplest and easiest way possible, which is a technique that I use. So what I'm sharing with you is the overview, so you can place this in your understanding of the creation of life and reality itself, and you can win at the game of life.